Your kidneys are already speaking to you, even if you refuse to listen. That quiet warning called proteinuria is not random, not harmless, and definitely not something to ignore. It is the body's way of saying the filtering system is under pressure, that something is slipping through where it should not, and yet most people continue their daily habits as if nothing is happening. That is the dangerous illusion, feeling fine while damage is quietly building inside. The truth is simple and uncomfortable. Kidney health does not collapse overnight. It erodes through repeated choices that feel small but accumulate into something serious. You need to understand this clearly. Proteinuria is not just a medical term written on a report. It is a signal that your kidneys are leaking protein because their filtering units are stressed or damaged. And here is the part most people ignore. You do not feel kidney strain the same way you feel pain in your muscles or joints. There is no loud alarm. There is only silence while the problem grows. That is why so many older adults discover kidney issues late, when correction becomes harder and slower. The danger is not the condition alone, it is the delay in respecting it. Now face a hard reality. You are not as careful as you think you are. You may believe that normal drinks are safe, or that age alone is the reason for decline, but that belief keeps you stuck in the same patterns. Every sip you take is either supporting your kidney filtration or forcing it to work under pressure. There is no neutral choice. And if you are regularly consuming drinks filled with sugar, additives, or hidden sodium, you are silently increasing the workload on already sensitive kidneys. It does not feel like damage in the moment, but kidneys do not forget what they are forced to process every day. Here's another truth that challenges most people's thinking. Hydration is not just about drinking something. It is about what you are actually putting into your system. Many assume that any liquid counts as hydration, but that is not how the kidneys experience it. Sugary beverages, processed drinks, and artificially flavored liquids do not behave like simple water inside the body. They force extra filtration, increase metabolic load, and disrupt balance. That means the kidneys are not just filtering waste, they are also working overtime to manage unnecessary chemicals and sugars that should never have entered in the first place. Over time, this extra burden shows up as weakness in filtration, which is exactly where protein leakage begins to appear. And here is the third hard realization you need to accept. You are often more reactive than preventive. Most people wait for symptoms, fatigue, swelling, or abnormal reports before they start paying attention. But kidneys do not reward late attention. They respond to consistent care, not emergency correction. If protein is already appearing in urine, it is not the beginning. It is already a stage where the system has been under pressure for a while. That means what you do now is not about prevention alone. It is about damage control and protection from further decline. This is where mindset becomes critical. You cannot treat your kidneys like they are indestructible. They are sensitive filtration organs designed to work quietly in the background, not to handle constant overload. The shift you need is simple but powerful. Every drink is a decision about kidney workload. Either you are reducing pressure or increasing it. Either you are supporting filtration or forcing compensation. There is no middle ground hidden in convenience or taste. Most people underestimate how powerful daily drinks are in shaping internal health. They think food matters more, or medication matters more, but liquids pass through the system in a way that directly interacts with filtration speed and kidney stress. That makes your drink choices one of the most influential habits you have, especially as you get older and kidney resilience naturally decreases. What worked at a younger age may now be quietly contributing to imbalance. So the real takeaway is not fear, it is awareness. Your kidneys are not failing without warning. They are communicating, but the language is subtle. Proteinuria is one of those signals that demands respect, not delay. And once you understand that, you stop treating drinks as harmless refreshment and start seeing them as daily inputs that shape long-term kidney stability. Every choice matters more than it feels in the moment, and that is exactly why ignoring it becomes so dangerous over time. Now you need to understand something most people refuse to accept. Kidney damage does not start with disease. It starts with daily habits that feel completely harmless. Proteinuria does not appear out of nowhere. It builds quietly when your kidneys are forced to filter more than they are designed to handle. And the biggest trigger is not always food. It is what you drink every single day without thinking twice. First, hard truth. Sugar is not just a weight problem. It is a kidney stress amplifier. Every sugary drink forces your body into a cycle of rapid glucose spikes, inflammation, and extra filtration pressure. Your kidneys are not designed to clean up constant sugar overload. Over time, this pressure weakens the filtration barrier, and that is exactly where protein starts to leak. You may not feel it happening, but inside, the damage is mechanical and continuous. Second hard truth: dehydration is not just feeling thirsty. It is kidney strain in slow motion. When you do not drink enough proper fluids, your kidneys are forced to concentrate waste into smaller amounts of urine. That increases internal pressure and makes filtration harder. Many older adults unknowingly live in a mild dehydration state for years, thinking they are fine because there is no immediate pain. But kidneys under low fluid support are like filters running without enough cleaning flow. They clog faster and wear down sooner. Third hard truth: not all liquids are hydration. This is where most people get trapped. Packaged juices, flavored waters, and processed drinks may look harmless, even healthy on the label, but inside they often carry hidden sodium, artificial sweeteners, preservatives, and concentrated sugars. These ingredients do not hydrate your kidneys. They complicate their job. Instead of giving relief, they add processing load. That means your kidneys are working not just on natural waste, but also on synthetic compounds they were never meant to handle in high amounts. And here is the uncomfortable realization you must face. You're probably repeating the same damage daily without noticing. A morning sweetened tea, a daytime soft drink, a packaged juice in the evening. None of it feels extreme in isolation. But kidneys do not evaluate one drink. They respond to patterns. And when that pattern is repeated for months or years, filtration pressure slowly increases until early signs like proteinuria begin to show up. Another issue people ignore is caffeine overload from modern drinks. Excess caffeine does not just wake you up. It increases urine output and can mildly dehydrate you if fluid intake is not balanced. That creates a cycle where the kidneys are constantly adjusting fluid and pressure levels instead of working in a stable environment. Stability is what kidneys need, not constant stimulation and fluctuation. Here is the mindset shift you must make immediately. Your kidneys are not reacting to age alone. They are reacting to workload. And every drink you choose either reduces that workload or adds to it. There is no safe by default category anymore when habits are repeated daily. Even small excesses become large burdens over time. Most people think kidney issues are sudden events, but they are not. They are accumulation stories. A little sugar here, a little dehydration there, a little processed drink habit over time. And suddenly the kidneys are operating under chronic stress. Proteinuria is simply one of the first measurable signs that the system is no longer handling the load quietly. The uncomfortable truth is this: you are either protecting your kidneys every day or you are overworking them every day. There is no neutral routine. And if your current drinks are creating internal imbalance, the damage is not waiting for permission. It is already in progress. Now shift your attention to something most people underestimate completely. Healing does not always come from medicine first. It often starts with what you consistently give your body every day. When it comes to proteinuria and kidney stress, your drinks are not just hydration. They are either reducing internal pressure or adding to it. And the simplest correction often creates the most powerful change over time. Start with the most basic but most powerful one: clean water. It sounds too simple, almost too obvious, which is exactly why people ignore its importance. But your kidneys depend on it more than anything else. Water is what allows proper filtration, waste removal, and toxin clearance without forcing extra strain. When you are consistently hydrated with clean water, your kidneys do not have to concentrate urine excessively, which reduces internal pressure and supports smoother filtration. It is not about drinking randomly. It is about maintaining steady, consistent hydration, so your system is not constantly shifting between overload and shortage. Many cases of kidney stress quietly worsen simply because this basic balance is missing. Next comes lemon water, and not as a miracle cure, but as a supportive habit that helps rebalance internal conditions. Lemon water introduces mild alkalizing effects after metabolism, which can help reduce excessive acidity load in the body. When your internal environment is less acidic and more balanced, your kidneys face slightly less strain in maintaining equilibrium. It is not about dramatic change. It is about reducing background stress that accumulates over time. A simple habit like this, when used consistently and without excess sugar, becomes a gentle support system for filtration health. It is small, but small things repeated daily shape long-term outcomes more than occasional big efforts. Then there is herbal tea. especially options like green tea or chamomile, used in a controlled and balanced way. These are not magical solutions, but they contain natural compounds that can support oxidative balance in the body. Oxidative stress is one of the silent contributors to organ wear, including kidney stress. When the body is under less oxidative burden, filtration systems function with less resistance. But the key here is discipline. These drinks must not be overloaded with sugar or artificial additives, because that instantly removes the benefit. The value lies in simplicity, not in turning them into flavored desserts. Now, here is the part most people miss entirely. These drinks work because they reduce pressure, not because they fix damage instantly. Kidney health does not respond to sudden transformations. It responds to reduced workload repeated over time. That is why consistency matters more than intensity. A single healthy drink occasionally does almost nothing, but repeated, simple, supportive choices create a measurable difference in how your kidneys handle daily filtration demands. You also need to understand a deeper shift in thinking. These drinks are not add-ons to your routine. They replace harmful patterns. If you add lemon water but still rely on sugary drinks, nothing changes. If you drink herbal tea but continue dehydration cycles, kidneys still suffer. The benefit only appears when supportive drinks replace stress-inducing ones. That is where real improvement begins. Here is the brutal but honest realization. Your kidneys do not need complicated solutions. They need relief. Relief from constant sugar spikes, relief from dehydration cycles, relief from processed chemical load. And the drinks that support them do exactly that. They reduce unnecessary burdens so your natural filtration system can function without overload. The mindset shift is simple but powerful. Stop thinking in terms of what can heal me quickly and start thinking what can reduce pressure every single day. Because kidneys do not reward urgency, they reward consistency. And when you consistently choose simple, clean, supportive drinks, you are not just hydrating your body. You are lowering the daily stress that leads to protein leakage in the first place. Now comes the part most people resist the most because it forces you to confront what you are actually doing to your body every day. Not in theory, not in fear, but in routine. Proteinuria does not improve while harmful habits are still being repeated. And the truth is uncomfortable. Some of the most normal drinks are quietly working against your kidneys every single day. First on the list is sugary soda, and there is no soft way to describe it. It is a direct overload for your system. High sugar content forces rapid glucose spikes, which increases inflammation and places extra pressure on kidney filtration units. Over time, this constant spike and crash cycle weakens the filtering barrier. That is exactly how protein begins to leak into urine. What feels like refreshment is actually repeated metabolic stress. And the worst part is consistency. One bottle is not the problem. It is the habit that makes damage unavoidable. Second is energy drinks, and this is where many people underestimate danger. These drinks combine high caffeine with sugar and chemical stimulants that push your body into overdrive. Your heart rate increases, your blood pressure can fluctuate, and your kidneys are forced to adjust filtration under unstable conditions. That instability matters. Kidneys function best in balance, not in chemical stimulation cycles. When you repeatedly force that system into artificial alertness, you are not supporting energy. You are stressing filtration control mechanisms that were never designed for that kind of load. Third is alcohol, and the problem here is not just one factor, it is a chain reaction. Alcohol dehydrates the body, disrupts electrolyte balance, and forces kidneys to compensate under reduced fluid availability. That combination alone is already stressful, but repeated intake multiplies the effect. Dehydration plus toxin processing means kidneys are doing double work in an already weakened state, and over time, that repeated strain reduces efficiency in filtration, making conditions like proteinuria more likely to worsen. The damage is not immediate, which is why people ignore it, but kidneys never ignore the pattern. Fourth is packaged fruit juices, and this is where marketing becomes misleading. The word fruit creates a false sense of safety, but many of these drinks contain high levels of added sugar, concentrated fruit syrups, and preservatives designed for shelf life, not kidney health. What you think is a healthy choice often behaves in your body like a sugar-loaded beverage with extra processing burden. Instead of supporting hydration, it increases metabolic load and forces kidneys to handle unnecessary additives alongside natural waste. Now here is the harsh reality you need to face without denial. These drinks do not harm you instantly. They harm you through repetition. That is why people keep consuming them. There is no immediate warning signal, no sudden collapse, just slow, silent pressure building inside the filtration system until protein leakage begins to show up. By the time it appears on a report, the pattern has already been active for a long time. Another truth that must be understood clearly is this: your kidneys are not struggling because they are weak. They are struggling because they are overworked. Every one of these drinks adds unnecessary workload. Sugar spikes, dehydration cycles, chemical additives, and stimulation overload all force the kidneys to operate under conditions of stress instead of balance. And kidneys cannot adapt forever. They can compensate for a while, but compensation is not recovery. The mindset shift here is non-negotiable. If a drink creates pressure instead of balance, it does not belong in a routine meant to protect kidney health. Convenience, taste, and habit are not valid defenses against long-term strain, because the real cost is not immediate, it is cumulative. And proteinuria is often one of the first visible signs that accumulation has already crossed a safe limit. So the message is direct. What feels normal may still be harmful, and what feels harmless may already be shaping the condition of your kidneys in ways you cannot feel yet. This is where everything comes down to a simple but uncomfortable truth. Your kidneys are not failing suddenly. They are being worn down slowly by repetition you keep calling normal. Proteinuria is not the beginning of the problem. It is the warning that your system has already been under pressure for too long. And if you ignore that warning, you are not staying stable. You are allowing decline to continue silently. You need to understand this clearly. Every choice you make around drinks is not just a preference, it is a decision about kidney workload. There is no neutral habit anymore when filtration is already under stress. Either you reduce pressure or you add to it. Either you support balance or you keep forcing compensation. That is the reality your body is living with every single day, whether you acknowledge it or not. Here is the final hard truth. Waiting for symptoms is already a mistake. Swelling, fatigue, abnormal reports. These are not starting points. They are late signals. By the time they appear, your kidneys have already been adapting under strain for a long time. Proteinuria itself is one of the earliest measurable signs that the filtration system is no longer handling the load quietly. And ignoring early signals is exactly how people end up dealing with long-term complications that could have been slowed down much earlier. Now, the shift you need is not complicated, but it is strict. Stop treating drinks as harmless comfort. Start treating them as daily impact decisions. One supports filtration stability, the other increases stress load. That is it. No emotional justification changes that biology. No habit excuses cancel that effect. And here is what separates control from decline. Consistency. Not occasional healthy choices, not temporary changes, but repeated daily decisions that reduce pressure instead of increasing it. That is how kidney stress is managed over time. Small corrections, repeated long enough, change the direction of the system. But only if harmful patterns are also reduced at the same time. You do not need perfection. You need awareness that turns into discipline. Because kidneys do not respond to intentions. They respond to what you repeatedly expose them to. And every drink you choose either respects that system or overloads it. So here is the final challenge you cannot ignore. Look at your daily routine honestly, not what you think it is, but what it actually is. Because proteinuria is not asking for fear. It is asking for change before silence turns into damage that cannot be reversed easily. End title: Protect your kidneys. Before it's too late, your choices. Today, decide your tomorrow.